Morning all, and welcome to this video of another clock in my collection. This is a Hermle powered Westminster chime grandmother clock. As you can see, she ain't very tall, because there's the top of that one and there's the top of that one. It's about 5.5 feet high, I would say. But it's a beautiful clock. As I say, it's about 5.5 feet high. If we look at this inside, it's been running for a few days and it's running quite well. It runs on chains, as you can see, right up into the movement. I got this for £124 at an auction, and boy, what a lovely clock. I mean, seriously, that. It's a stick pendulum. It's got this text at the top here. Tempus Fugit. Stands for time flies. I believe it's Latin. But the clock itself is a beaut. It's 2 doors. It's got a chime silent switch up in there. In fact, here's that one there. That first one is chime all the time, nighttime shut off. This one, silent and strike. The chains go up inside the movement, and the cool thing about this is you can't overwind it because it will stop. It's on a stopper, so it will actually hold. Now these weights are specific in that certain ones fit in certain parts of the clock. This one has to fit on this side due to the nature of it. These two can fit anywhere, but they're married to a specific hook style. So it's very, very nice. As I say, it's got a beautiful chime, and we're going to hear them both chime actually. This one will go, the one at the other side will go first actually, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the chime off on this one, so we can get the true beauty of this on its own. So I'm going to let the chimes loose in a minute and you'll hear them. You'll hear the big one chime first. You look at the top of that, you can see how elegant that is. We think it's fairly new. I got it for £124. There's your Tempus Fugit. There's your pretty corners. Down around the face there, look. The filigree, whatever they call that. I think it's filigree, I have no idea, but it's very, very pretty. You cast it round and you got that side. You got your typical style of hands there. Most clocks have those. The hands on clocks do vary, but that is a particularly common style on Hermle clocks. Anyway, so yeah, this is a really nice clock. As I say, I got this in last Friday. It's coming up to Wednesday now, so it's been here since last Friday night, and it's running absolutely beautifully. As you can hear, it's doing well. It's one of those clocks that you could have in your house if you don't have room for one like that. I mean, that is huge. You might not have room for them in everyday houses, but if you haven't got room for such a gorgeous piece as this one here, the big old Keininger powered unit here, then you would certainly have room for something smaller, such as this. You might want something, you might have a light switch behind there or something that you can stand it in front of. I mean, we don't have a light switch here, but it just happens to stand well in this corner and look the part. So we're going to let you hear the strike from this. It's going to do all of its chimeage. You're going to hear the big one first, obviously, because I set that up. You are going to hear that one. We have heard that one before. Actually, no, I'm going to turn the chime off on this big one because, quite honestly, we don't need it. Means I can turn the chime back on the little one. But yeah, I forgot I can do that completely on that one. It still runs as it's supposed to, but I can turn the chime on and off on that one quite freely. Those are the rods up there. Pull that lever down and your chime is back on. Nothing majorly fancy about the clock. It's got a beautiful wooden stick pendulum. The whole thing is just gorgeous. It's not as fancy as that one, but again, you wouldn't pay as much for one of these as you would that one over there anyway. So I paid 124 quid for this, and a typical grandfather clock like the big one would be over £3,000. So really there's no comparison between the two. But this is still beautiful in its own right. You can hear that ticking away quite nicely. I did do a video on this before, but I made some errors about the movement, and I said it was a triple chime, but it's not. It's a triple weight Westminster chime on 5 gongs. On 5 gong rods, not coils. It's rods, not coils. I call them gongs anyway, but they're rods. It's going to strike in a minute. Now this does actually sound rather like a hack trinity when it chimes, but it's actually not. Because it's the same pitch and everything. It's a beautiful chime. As you can tell, I'm waiting. It's like waiting for Christmas. Although that's not too many weeks away at this point. Oh, she's going to chime. Is she 1/4 past? 1/2 past? I'm leaving the chime where it is. I'm leaving the time where it is, but what I'm doing is I'm using this here to oscillate. 1/4 to. I'm turning the switch on and off the silent. And finally, the hour. Isn't that beautiful? We'll just cycle it around to the 1/4 past. And there you go. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed putting this together. This is another one of my fine examples. This one, as I said, I've only just got. So there you go.